November 2nd, I voted. It started raining when I came out of there too, but it's been a rainy season, fall 2024. So November's here in this election cycle. I have class. I have cast my vote. So for me, understanding this presidential, executive branch, legislative branch, which are that's the Congress, the House, and the Senate, and the judicial branch plus the amendments. It's really not as hard or painstaking as a person may feel it is. Take a matter of moments. I'm glad I did it early. I got the last day of the early. But to be able to cast those votes and see what's really going on, because I haven't really extensively studied, is getting me to understand in this decade what's happening in the United States of America. And how I get my feedback, I really get it from church, from the pulpit. There are pastors that I listen to that I have been connected with since the age of 20 that have served on some committees, some seats. They have had local office, and they've had the relationship and the contact with some people on that bigger scale, Congress, executive branch. And there's people that just in ministry that have had those encounters, or they have studied the person, their impact and what they're doing. They can provide feedback while I'm listening on Sunday and while I'm listening on the midweek sessions or during their conference. So I get an understanding of what's going on, the key amendments, as well as who the candidates are. It's not about mudslinging. It's not about bringing anybody down. It's just to open your mind up on what we're dealing with, how political funds are raised. You know, some people go in with their own funds. So that's something I saw on the ballot that was unique to me. And I have a sample ballot at home. I can look into it more because that's what's going on in this decade in my area, St. Lucie County, Florida. So where it comes to the schools, where it comes to the funds a person has for their campaign, that's something for me to look forward into. That's what I learned out of this election cycle. Other key amendments, I don't want to touch. I don't want to start a fight. I don't like to argue. I don't like to go back and forth. It's like you have what you stand on. I have what I stand on. Whoever you may be on the other side, we might stand on the same thing, even though you may not perceive me to. But I'm glad to have cast my vote in this election cycle 2024 and to do it early. I would consider doing early more often. Less stress, less heckling. Sometimes there's heckling, tribal mindsets. He looked like he better not, you better not. I don't like that feeling, even though I got to do what I got to do. But it overrides race, party, platform. When you really look at who we are as a nation, when you really look at your rights in God, your privileges in God, you can see clearly. And you get to assess. All right, I've heard a man say this. Whoever you look up to, people in business, authors, people, thought leaders, pastors, whoever you look up to. It's like that's how I'm gonna approach this situation. Not as a fear of loss, maybe a certain amendment. Not as a fear of loss. Okay, they want to cut this, they want to take that. Or I'm gonna base taxes on what's going on here. I'll look further into the things, but you learn how to assess. The ability to comprehend and assess is important. So it's like sometimes it's yes or no, but you can always go back when you want to learn more. I want to learn more. What's really going on here? Because it's going to impact me. It's going to impact the funding of the schools. Okay. One situation may say this funds the schools, but we never know who has the money to fund the schools. One situation may say something about a homestead exemption. I'm going to base it annually. A previous job of mine, I wasn't on the board, but there's a value adjustment board. That affects estate planning. How long you plan to live on the state? I'm a native Floridian. I'm always going to be dealing with Florida, even if I go off to other places. That's our way in Florida. People live in Florida and Connecticut, Florida and New York, Florida and North Carolina. That's just our way in Florida. So sometimes in estates and inheritances, like the Confession with Word of Faith Christian Center in Southfield, Michigan, estates and inheritances, me as a 38-year-old man, when I get married, when I have children, when I have grandchildren, sometimes understanding what that's saying, even though I voted one way or the other, that's going to help me. What do I want the children and grandchildren to face? And that's not worrying, that's planning. All right. One situation may be about a certain law enforcement agency that I had no idea that was the top. It involves the Second Amendment, but it's a proposed article to it. I don't know the right answer, but that ballot presented me, man, go study, go find out some more. So that's what I want to say about that. Not to sway anybody any way or the other. It's bigger than black and white. It's bigger than political party. Just make things go in the direction you want them to go. That's the power to vote. So if you didn't know all the answers, just study it. So you'll be ready next time. All right. Be blessed.